In this video, I will show you how to dismantle and reassemble the disk 2 floppy drive. I'm assuming that you know how to handle the interface card inside the computer. So I will not take care of that because we don't actually need to remove the cable from the computer itself. So on the disk drive, you need to flip it around and you have 4 screws here. Just take care not to put any pressure on the rubber feet because you might actually move them and they are quite brittle. So you have the 4 screws here, so we're going to remove those. And for this you will need a Phillips screwdriver. I'm using a slightly magnetized one, but you don't actually need to use a magnetized one. Okay, so once all 4 screws are done, removed, you can just flip the drive around again and carefully just slide the cover back until it's fully out of the case and set it aside. So now we have here the analog card and the case. Now, if you're just replacing the card, the analog card, you don't actually need to remove the base of the drive. But if you're actually also replacing the motor card, you will have to remove the base to get access to the motor card. So that's what we're going to do now. So to remove the base, you need to first remove the 20-pin ribbon cable. So we're just going to pull that out of the analog card. Just remember the orientation. You have the red stripe which is underneath the cable on this one, which fits on pin 1 here of the analog card. And the way to remove the cable is just to undo the clip and you slide the cable out just like that. And just set it aside. Just remember that the actual, it goes back this way. So now that's done, flip the drive around and you have here 4 screws that you need to take out in order to remove the bottom plate. Now just be careful removing those screws. They are a bit brittle and they can be stripped easily, so make sure that you have a good screwdriver and a proper bit. Now the last screw here, you just need to flip the drive on its side, otherwise the whole assembly will fall. So you can just hold the assembly by the plastic here like that, remove the last screw, flip the drive back, and then here the bottom plate can just slide right out. Just like that. So this completes the disassembly of the drive, and here in a later video we'll be able to just take care of replacing the motor card with mine and the analog card with mine. The reassembly is, pretty much the inverse. You just have to be careful. On the bottom of the drive, just make sure you do not touch anything here because the belt is very brittle also, and you do not want to touch that. So to put the bottom plate back, you just flip the drive around. You can hold the drive if you want by the edge of the analog card. And then you put the plate back, and while holding the card, you can just put at least 1 screw back in a hole, tighten it, And once one is done, and you can just set the whole assembly down and tighten the last ones. Just remember that the screws for the bottom plate are the ones that are as close to the edge as possible. So you have those 4 ones, not the other ones. Okay, so once those screws are done, we flip the assembly around again. Now it's time to reinstall the cable. Again, this is the way to put it, not the other way around. You just slide it back in the clip. You might have to wiggle it to make it fit. You snap the clip in place, and then again remember that the red stripe is on this side is on the bottom of the cable, and make sure that the cable fits, the 2 rows fit on the card and not just 1 row, because otherwise you can damage the card. It will fry this chip, the 74LS125. So this is done, and now all that remains is just to put the cover back in. Again, you just slide the cover back. Make sure that the actual holes, the breathing holes, are in the back side of the card, of the drive. Flip it around. You align the holes, and you screw back the black screws, and then you're done.